that if they don't buy this hair, what they lose is hair that commands attention. I'm going to say that again. So they lose hair that commands attention. Let's break it down even a little bit simpler. Imagine putting it in a caption and saying, if you go for an event and no one notices your hair, sweetheart, you don't have hair that commands attention. All you just have is hair. Now, what you've done is you've put it this way, you've thrown shade on everyone else who sells hair, because what the emotion the customer is buying is hair that commands attention. What the customer is buying is, let me put it this way, head turning hair. So if your hair doesn't turn heads, have you really bought hair? Those are some of the things that you need to be thinking about. Let me add one more thing to this. Many entrepreneurs are stuck in the commodity section. And what do I mean by that? If you're in the place where your customers price you like fish, then you've got to listen to this very carefully. If you're selling to the 90%, allow me to use the word, the mass market, or what we call the Bugwero section, you are selling a commodity. Let me give you an example. Have you ever bought, pure water in traffic? I know you're going to tell me, I don't drink pure water. Oh my God, I'm so bougie. No, you're not. But if you've ever bought pure water in traffic, have you ever stopped to look at the logo and say, how many calories are in this water? Or, when's the expiry date of this water? No, you don't. You just bought water that was a commodity. So what you were paying for was the desire to slake your thirst. Are you with me so far? Let me give another analogy that perhaps will communicate this intrinsically. If you're in a bus, in a cab, on a bike, or in a keke, still with the 90%, what you're buying is transportation. You want to get from point A to point B. So it's where you're going that matters. It's not about how you arrive. So how you get there doesn't matter. It's transportation. 90% commodity. Now check this out. If you're selling to the 10%, you're selling a necessity. So this is where Uber, for example, Taxify, Bolt, and all these other guys play in. So what they're doing is they're saying it's not about where you're going, it's how you arrive that matters. So they say you're buying a driver for a day. So with an Uber or Bolt or Taxify, what you're paying for is the privilege to land well. I don't know if you know what I'm saying. That's what you're paying for. That's where your Toyota Camry or your cars are. That is a necessity. But now let's go a little higher, because I know you don't want to really sell to the 90%. And you're kind of okay with the 10%, but where the sweet spot is if you're selling to the 1%. Now, what's the 1% interested in? I'm glad you asked. These guys are interested in exclusivity. So for example, they're not selling you a car. At this level, they're selling you an accessory. Now remember, the 90% commodity, the 10% necessity, the 1% they're buying an accessory. Now what does that mean? It means they're selling you something that ties to your image of yourself. So they're saying, come on, man, people like you go hard with things like this. This is an accessory to who you are. So that's where your Range Rover, your G-classes, and all the limited editions comes in. They're selling you, in fact, let me say it this way. They're not just selling you exclusivity. They're not just selling you scarcity. They're selling you, I am not your matey. You hear me what I'm saying? And that's the emotion you need to communicate to your customers. All right, so we've come to the end of the module. You've taken notes, you've watched a ton of videos, but here's the most important thing. Now it's time for you to get up and do something with what you've learned. What are you waiting for? Turn off the video, get going.